When people think of kaiju movies from South Korea, the first one that tends to come to mind is Wangmagwi, Monster from the Deep from 1967. It's the most well-known one and is often considered to be the first kaiju movie that South Korea put out. But it's actually not. If you go by the release dates, the first South Korean monster movie that is surviving is Space Monster Wangmagwi. Look, I'm gonna fuck that up. Let's just get that out of the way now. I'm gonna screw this title up a bunch of times. So just leave me alone about it, okay? And yes, I know that technically South Korea's first monster movie was actually 1962's Bulgasari, but that movie is considered lost, so it doesn't count. No one's ever gonna see it again. In June of 1967, Wangmagwi, whatever, beats out Wangmagwi by 2 months, but was lost to time. As a matter of fact, until just 4 years ago, the only way it was possible to even watch this movie was via the occasional screenings held by the Korean Film Archive, because they kept it under lock and key for whatever reason. It wasn't until an independent company called SRS Cinema managed to get their hands on distribution rights and they restored it. So after all the effort to get this movie released and all the work that went into getting it restored and its somewhat legendary status among kaiju movie fans, you expect this movie to be a banger, right? Well, if the opening scenes of aliens with spray-painted jugs on their heads is any indicator, I think we're in for a good time. And I can't be the only one who thinks they look like Minecraft villagers, right? Like, it's kind of uncanny. It can't just be me. Anyway, these guys are planning to take over Earth by attacking it with a monster that looks like someone chewed up and shit out the rabbit from Donnie Darko. And I guess the idea is that after they fart this thing into space, the pressure of the cosmos or something will make it grow before it hits Earth. Look, I'm not like Neil deGrasse Tyson or anything, but like, I don't think that's how it works. That could be how it works. I'm just fucking stupid. I don't know. The plot of Wangmagwi, whatever, and I use that term extremely loosely because it hardly qualifies, is that this woman is about to get married, but her wedding gets interrupted because her man's is a fighter pilot who has to defend the country on their wedding day when Wangmagwi shows up. That's kind of it, really. I complain a lot that most of these older kaiju movies, especially stuff from the Showa era of monster movies, they tend to focus way too much on the people, and they don't really give us enough of the actual monster. You know what I mean? Well, Wangmagwi has the opposite problem. And when you actually see the monster, you'll understand why. What in the actual Christ is this thing supposed to be? Usually I come up with some, I don't know, humorous comparison, but like, dude, I got nothing. For some reason, they gave it giant ears and massive teeth, but still got the suit actors' beady eyes peering out of it like some fucking nightmarish carnival costume. God, I hate this thing. Words cannot adequately describe just how ass this thing looks, and to just add to how unconvincing this whole thing is, for like half the movie they didn't even bother to like overcrank the film reel, so it just walks around like a dude in a costume. Like, it just looks like there's no weight to it. It's just like a guy. What's even more lame about this whole thing is that they went to the trouble of building miniature city sets for this thing to, you know, destroy, but it like purposely just steps over things. It barely even touches buildings. When it does, it's like, ooh, let me just daintily pick up this radio antenna and there we go. Like, break something, dude. If you're gonna subject me to having to stare at a face that looks like someone smacked a butthole with a baseball bat a few times, at least give me some destruction or something. I mean, it can shoot fire out of its forehead, and it barely even does that. Once the monster shows up, though, the rest of the movie just cuts back and forth between the monster and people on the ground. But it's not established characters or anything for the most part. It's like randoms each time. It's like random vignettes. Plot goes out the window. The only reason the main bride character even stays in the story's overarching plot is because the thing grabs her like in King Kong and carries her around. And that wouldn't even be happening if her and her mom didn't do such a piss poor job of running away. Look, I'm gonna show you the scene where they try to run away, unedited, and if you take a drink every time they fall, I don't know, you're gonna be dead by like the end of the clip. But Wangmagwi isn't even the scariest part of the movie. The true villain is something far more sinister. A curse of Japanese kaiju movies that not even South Korea is immune to. The dreaded Kenny. Now, for the uninformed, a Kenny is what us in the kaiju community refer to as, you know, in like Gamera and some of the older Showa Godzilla movies, there's always a little boy who always seems to have to get involved somehow. He's always like the main focus of the plot. Think of basically every Gamera movie before the 90s ones. Think of Godzilla's Revenge, shit like that. The annoying little kid, yeah. Even this movie has one, dude. This kid is the goat of this movie though, because not only does he climb up the monster with a kitchen knife that he stole from some rich dude's house, he literally goes inside the monster's ear and starts like stabbing it, like tearing it apart like he's like some filthy parasite. Like he's got that London DNA, you know? I'm British, I can say that. It's like that one episode of Magic School Bus when they go inside Ralphie's ass or whatever it is. Like I haven't seen that episode in like 30 years, dude. I don't know. He even takes a piss in the thing's brain. I'm actually not joking. That really does happen. He really does take a piss inside this thing's brain. This is a really weird movie. And while all this is happening, the military, her husband-to-be included, doesn't do a goddamn thing. I don't think they even fire a shot at the monster until the last 5 minutes of the movie. It's an hour and a half long, by the way. And good lord, can you feel that 90 minutes really hard. In my opinion, the best part of this movie is like these two guys on the ground who take bets to see which one of them runs away first with crazy stakes. One dude's like, if I win, I want your life savings. And the other guy's like, well, if I win, I want your house and I want to fuck your wife. I'm paraphrasing, but like, goddamn, these guys are actually kind of funny. Followed by another brilliant scene where they juxtapose a woman giving birth with a salaryman rocking a huge dump. This is art. In the end, the groom dive bombs his plane into the monster, and that's apparently all it takes for the aliens to be like, you know what? Fuck that place. Seriously, they just give up. They're like,
지구를 탐험했으나 지구인들의 철통 같은 방위 태세에 부딪혀 점령할 수 없습니다.
kill the monster themselves, and then they just peace out. You're telling me an alien race of milk jugs' only weapon to invade Earth was a single, whatever this thing was supposed to be? That's kind of lame, you know? I think this movie is more of like an interesting oddity in film history than it is an actual good movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you're a kaiju fan, it's worth watching at least once, but that's kind of about it. Like, I can't see this movie being somebody's go-to, you know what I mean? That being said, as like a big supporter, clearly, of like physical media and stuff, I have to give huge kudos to SRS Cinema. Just the fact that they went out of their way to restore a movie that hasn't seen the light of day outside of Korea in like what, 60, 70 years since its release. That's impressive. That's an impressive feat. Even if the movie's not that great, that's still an impressive feat. And we're talking an independent company. Like, SRS isn't a huge company. They're just, if you actually go look at their catalog, a lot of the movies that are on there are stuff you've never heard of, I guarantee it. That's pretty cool. Support physical media, man. Don't let the streamers win.